What's up? Narokx coming to you with a breakdown of a lo-fi beat I posted not too long ago. But not just any lo-fi, a 21 Savage lo-fi beat. Well, what I did was, I got really inspired after I learned how to play the melody of A Lot featuring J. Cole on piano. So I decided to play it really slow while strumming the chords. And with that, I got the basis of what became a pretty cool lo-fi beat. So yeah, here's how I turned 21 Savage's A Lot into a lo-fi banger. First, I recorded myself playing the song's melody on a Rhodes piano, making sure to strum some on the chords. Also, I played the melody in a short, lo-fi tempo, which in this case is 80. Then I separated the high melody pattern from the chords. I did that because I will use these in different instruments. For the chords, I had them in two different Rhodes sounds that play simultaneously. I made sure they strum differently. That way it doesn't feel so much like they're layering and it feels more like they are bouncing off each other. I sent them to different mixer tracks. Even though I put similar effects on them, I wanted to put this extra cassette effect and another EQ on one of the Rhodes. So on that one, I have an EQ, a cassette, the classic Lo-Fi Legend in free of cost, isotope vinyl. Then I put a reverb and an extra EQ. On the other, I have the isotope on the same settings, the same reverb, and the EQ. Then I routed these two to one bus, which I will route all my melodies to. That way I can mix, balance, and glue all my sounds together. Also, the most important step, level correctly, not randomly. Next, for the chords, I put them in this Nexus pad for some ambience. I didn't strum the chords here, but I made sure to have the velocity of the notes being different. I mixed the sounds with the EQ and the same settings of isotope. Last thing for the chords was this Vox sound that I put here and there throughout the beat. The melody of the chords is two repeating chords, so here I removed the repetition because I intend to add some delay. I put the sound in the frequency pocket with an EQ, then use RC20 to distort and use this magnetic knob that makes stuff sound bad, or in this case, sound lo-fi. I also used the stereo function on RC20 to widen the sound. Then I used a 4-step delay and used a plate reverb. Now for the higher melody. I paste that melody on a guitar sound from Nexus. Side note, using melodies that were actually played gives the sound a natural human feel. It would be incredibly hard to emulate that feel by just adjusting the velocity manually. That is why I will probably start playing my percussion as well. But moving on, I mixed the guitar by adding this cassette effect and increasing the wobble. Then I EQ'd, used a soft low pass filter, then reverb, and another EQ. Also, I used the stereo knob on the mixer track to push the sound to the middle. I wanted to make it more mono than the melodies, so it would sit in the middle and stand out. And last thing with the melodies, I tweaked the melody a bit to create a lead sound. I used this string from Omnisphere and I have it playing an octave up and an octave down on different parts of the beat. I mixed it with a decent low pass filter, an EQ for shape, and RC20 with the reverb, and the rest to make the sound lo-fi. Before talking about drums, I want to mention this vinyl sound I have in the back playing throughout the whole beat. It is playing so low you almost can't hear it, but it gives that crackling sound which is nice and very present on most lo-fi tracks. I didn't go too crazy with the drums, it is a simple 2-bar loop. Here's the snare pattern. I layered the snare and the clap and did EQ and some distortion. The hats are playing every 2 steps with the rim shot in there. I also have this variation pattern. I wanted to add some perk sounds that are barely noticeable, but they end up helping the overall vibe. Other than that rim shot I mentioned, I have this triangle sound and this small sound from a coffee shop sample pack, which is a great pack by the way. Now the kick. Here's the pattern. I used an EQ and some distortion. Other than that, I have a riser and a telephone sound.
Hot or cold? Cold.
I sent all percussion channels to this one channel where I will use isotope and EQs to remove some of the high frequencies. Usually I wouldn't do this, but it is lo-fi, so removing some of the harsh bright sounds is almost a must. After I finished editing, I realized that I completely forgot about the bass. So here's the pattern that I played. And I processed the sound by using a decapitator and 2 EQs. I played it on piano so you can see the velocity shifts to get that more natural bass playing feel. I used the Rickenbacker bass from Contact. Shout out to Kenny Beats for making this bass popular. And finally, I automated a low pass filter over the whole beat to create some variation and added a 21 Savage sample from his GGN episode with Snoop Dogg, the legend. And that is it. I hope you liked it. I try to keep it simple, but I kinda went ham. Please subscribe to motivate me to keep making content.
What's the first thing you do and think of when you wake up?
That's a good ass question. I don't know. Lean? Where my drink at?
Where my drink at?
Yeah.
Hot or cold?
Cold.